Good morning everybody, and welcome to Saturday's golf drills for the garden. Yesterday I talked about a new subject, which is how to sequence your backswing in order to get a correctly tightly coiled backswing position by making sure that you turn your body in the correct order, with the club taking the arms, taking the chest, and eventually pulling the thighs and the knees into action to achieve a really tightly coiled backswing position where you're using the ground as resistance. And I recommended that you do lots of slow motion practice with that at first, because it's difficult to change your instinctive move, which for many people is to use the legs to move away at the start of the swing. So you're going to probably need to do some practice for that for quite some time. But just to give you the whole story, the thing that's tricky about that move, if you're needing to use a lot of mental focus to achieve it, is that all the time you're focusing on resisting in your knees and in your thighs during the course of the backswing. They then tend to go to sleep at that key second, which is the transition from backswing into downswing, when you're going to really use your legs to make a very powerful unwind right the way through to that fully cleared finish that we talked about in the very first session. And what can happen is if you just keep your legs static for a fraction too long, it allows the arms and shoulders to make the starting move in the downswing, because these are still resisting, and that can give you a very dead-legged action, which can cause an over-the-top action and a chopping down. So we've really got to make sure that it's still, the downswing starts from the ground up, using all those descriptions and feelings I talked about when we talked about using the ankles to start the unwind, feeling the weight driving down into the left side of your feet and working its way up into your glute muscle to get that left glute turning. So you can see now then that the legs do two completely different things in the golf swing. In the backswing they resist, and in the downswing they fire. So we're really going to need to get you to start to feel at what point and when do those ankles really start to get you to work the unwind, having resisted. So one bit of finer detail, when I talked about the backswing yesterday, I talked about how many people use the legs in the backswing. Well, if you use your legs too much, you get this over rotation of the legs here, and the right hip is then in a sort of a locked position here. And from here it's very, very hard to start down from the legs, and you're more likely to start from the shoulders. However, if you manage to keep your knees flexed and your legs resisting in the backswing, because there is still flex in the right knee in the second half of the backswing, the feeling that you'll start to be able to get is that the arms and chest can physically push the right hip back over that flexed right knee. So the club arms and chest are continuing to turn, and right to the very top of the backswing, the point where you can't go any further is when the chest cannot push the right hip back any further. And at that point, when you're fully coiled and you can feel all the tightness in the muscles through the